from the crowd. Nazi Panthers on a bathroom sink. Her mother would be so proud. Gets on a deed and there's a line to go pee, but the bathroom looks like a war zone.
Welcome in to episode 141 of Phired Up Sports. Check us out at firedupsports.com. I'm Mike Gillette. Joining me as always, Dom Console. Dom, what's going on, man?
What's going on?
Oh, not much. Dreadful week of football, at least for my heart. I'll be honest with that. We can talk about it. But how's your week been? How's your weekend of football watching?
Well, non-existent. No. Here and there, I was able to watch. Just a busy Sunday around my house, so
Yep.
you know, I watched most of both games, but missed here. You know, so here and there. How about you?
Yeah, no, I watched both of them. I watched every snap, and yeah, it's one of the biggest choke jobs I think I've ever seen from Detroit.
Okay,
It was. Bad.
I thought you were gonna go with Lamar.
Well, I expect that
I
from
guess-
Lamar.
I-
I
yeah, I
expect
guess-
it from Lamar.
I was gonna say, I guess Lamar's not really a choke job. Right? We kind of do expect that from Lamar, but yeah.
Yeah, like if you cut Lamar's running ability, if you force him to throw the ball, he's not going to beat you. It's that simple. He's just not.
Yeah. I guess you're right.
So I kind of expect it from Lamar, but like when you're up 24-7 at the half, I think Detroit.
They're up 17. Yeah. Yep.
So 24-7 at the half. I mean, it's a brutal loss.
I give a lot of credit to Kyle Shanahan. I think I was telling somebody today. It's not that I think he's a bad coach. I think he's a good coach, but I think
he's a tool. But
well, yeah, but I kind of compared him to like the early stages of Andy Reid, like when Andy was here. Just has all the ability, has the ability to coach that quarterback. But just like it's like the game management, or like the not like, doesn't have the in-game adjustments. Like we've seen that in all of his big games. But I give him a lot of credit for this specific week coming out. I imagine ripping his players a new one at halftime,
sure,
and them coming out and totally changing the game. So I do give him some credit.
yeah, but you know on the Lions end, you lose by 3, you'll have 6 points. Off the field
Right.
or off the board or whatever, by going for it on fourth down twice. The first one I can maybe buy an argument for. The second one late in the fourth quarter made 0 sense to go for that fourth down.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's not even so much the debate whether it's like is aggressiveness like the good thing or not. I mean, Reynolds just dropped the ball in the first. It was the first one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Reynolds drops the ball.
True. Yeah.
Again, I would have went for the 6. I mean, it's so easy to play Monday morning quarterback, but we were texting live when that was going on, and I think most of us in the group chat were like, "Yeah, I'd probably take the points like before the play even happened."
You just take the points, and the second one makes
Right.
even less sense because you're down 3 with like 5 6 minutes left. I forget exactly how much time there was in the game, and you have a chance to tie the game or let them just basically run out the time. Like,
yeah, I also it's 2 weeks in a row now. I wasn't on the show last week, but 2 weeks in a row now that this fraud quarterback has the defense drop 2 picks twice 2 weeks in a row. The Green Bay game, that was 2 pick sixes easy. And now this week they dropped 2 picks. And those matter. I mean, the game could be totally different.
Yeah, and it's 2 games in a row that going in, you say, oh, they're the better team on paper. They get dominated in the game, and they still find a way to win both of them.
And look, I think the whole Brock Purdy story is cool. The last guy in the draft. It's like
Sure. Yeah.
I think like Reese said it. Like it's the All American story where like the last guy in the draft and these 2 straight championship games wasn't supposed to be there kind of thing. So it's a cool story, but I fucking hate the Niners. So I hope they lose by 100.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like he seems like a likable dude, and the story's cool. But like, if he just played on like 28 other teams, I think we'd be fine with it.
I think Dak's a pretty nice guy. I fucking hate him.
Sure. Yeah.
So-
Right. Yeah. Sure.
So it's so crazy to think that I actually think I hate the Niners more than the Giants.
One of the Giants.
Yeah, I think they're number 2 on my
yeah.
list now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess the Giants really haven't been good, in a handful of years, really since the Manning kind of fell off,
Right.
the Manning era. But I mean, I guess it makes sense, especially because like the Giants, even when they're good, they really don't run their mouth the way that the Niners have continued to run their
Right.
mouths, especially like the whole crying tour of last season. Like every player was salty that they were on to their like fourth quarterback or whatever it was. Like it's the way the players have handled themselves, and they're just such an unlikable group. Like even you take a guy like Christian McCaffrey, who I think was a pretty likable guy in Carolina.
I used to love him.
Right, and now it's like every time he touches the ball, I'm like hoping he breaks his neck. That's probably like an awful thing for me to say, but it's like it's the truth. I'm like, it's so bad. It's just such an unlikable group of people.
Yeah, I know. He's the best running back in the league. It's
Sure, yeah. And he's the entire team. If they don't have Christian McCaffrey, they probably don't have the bye. They probably lose in the wild card round. Like he's their whole entire team. That like you can't convince me that anybody else is more valuable to their team than Christian McCaffrey.
I'm not going to disagree with you. I'm not going to say he's going. This was an argument we had weeks and weeks and weeks ago.
Yep.
It's not that I don't think he's not the most valuable to his team. It's not that I don't think he shouldn't win the MVP. I just don't think they give it to him.
I agree.
That was my argument.
I agree. I don't think they'll give it to him, but I still think he's the most valuable player in the league.
You're probably not wrong.
Yeah.
I think in my list, I would probably have Josh Allen number 1, McCaffrey number 2, and Lamar number 3.
Okay.
And I can't stand Lamar. Like I'm just not a fan of his game. Listen. I think he's fun to watch in the regular season. I think he's a flashy guy. I think he puts up the stats, but when it matters most, and Josh Allen's kind of getting like that with me too. Where like when at least Josh Allen like wins playoff games. I think Lamar's only won like 2 in his career, but like
is it even 2?
Yeah, I think he was 1-3 going into this year, and then they won.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he has won 1 before this.
Yeah.
But
loses at home, like you know what I mean, like aside from Josh Allen losing to Patrick Mahomes, he hasn't done that. But again, like Allen's kind of starting to get like that a little bit with me. Where like,
well, Allen's the turnovers is kind of the thing that kills him. Like he just tries to force the ball too often.
Version of Wentz, yeah, like a more consistent, better version of Carson Wentz,
right? Yeah,
really.
Yeah,
but. Yeah, I don't know. Taking my Brock Purdy hate outside of it, and this kind of goes with like Lamar and Purdy. I think obviously Lamar's a top 10 quarterback. Like he's probably 6th or 7th, whatever it is. Where would you rank honestly? Where would you rank Purdy in the top 32?
I mean I have to go through it. You know what? Let's pull up each team. Hold on.
Yeah.
Because this is one thing that I have heard today. People are saying, is he a good quarterback? And like, what do you constitute as good? In order for him to be a good quarterback, do you have to be top 10? Because if he gets to top 15, then at that point you're a middle of the road.
You're mediocre,
quarterback.
Right?
You're mediocre, right?
I don't know where I have. I mean, I don't know if I have him top 10, but I think I probably would have him top 15. And I think if you take Purdy off of the Niners and you put him on like 29 other teams, I think you never hear of him.
All right, so let's go team by team here.
Okay.
All right, Bills, Josh Allen, obviously put Josh Allen over him. Tua.
I might give it. What do you value though? Like what are we valuing here? Are we doing like, because Purdy
he wins more games.
He wins more games, but like is Tua just
but that's part of the team.
Better, right. But is Tua just an all around better quarterback? I don't know. Like
I think it's close. I think it's really close.
I think it's close. Let's come back to that one.
All right, let's come back to that one. Jets. I guess we'll give it to Rodgers, right? I mean, Rodgers is better, right? Or do we not even count Rodgers right now because we haven't seen him playing?
No, I would still count Rodgers. I think.
All right, okay,
Rodgers.
Right.
Yeah, we'll go Rodgers.
Mac Jones, give me Purdy.
Yep.
Mahomes, obviously. The Raiders. Who's their quarterback this year? Is it Carr? Derek Carr?
No, he's in New Orleans.
New Orleans, that's right. Who the hell played for the Raiders this year?
Garoppolo, but it was like he was like in and out. But we'll go Garoppolo. I think Purdy's better than Garoppolo.
Yeah, I think Purdy's better too. Let's go. All right, Broncos. Russell Wilson.
I think this year Purdy's better. So and Wilson played well at the second.
I thought he
the
did.
halfway
I think it
through
was
the
crazy
year.
they benched him late in the season.
But I
thought
think if you're going to compare the last 2 years, I take Purdy.
Okay. So far we've found two guys better. Herbert.
I think again that goes to that question with Tua. I think Herbert is a better
Got more talent.
right, but
Yeah.
he hasn't really done anything with it. So I would still go Herbert though. I
would
think
go
Herbert's
too.
top 10.
I would go Herbert too. Lamar. We give it to Lamar, right?
Yep.
The Browns. I mean, who do you even say is the Browns quarterback?
Deshaun. It's Deshaun.
Right.
Deshaun
Yeah.
Watson.
I mean. Okay. I might take Purdy to be honest with you.
No, I think I still go Watson.
Do you? All right.
I don't know. I don't know that Watson's top 10, but he's he's very very close to top 10.
Okay.
Like Purdy, he's kind of in that conversation with Tua and
All right. So
Purdy.
I'll count him. That's 5. The Steelers. Who was their quarterback? Pickett.
yeah, he's no, he's- Purdy.
Give me Purdy. And then the Bengals. We got Joe Burrow. So
Yep.
that's one. We could definitely give it to Burrow. CJ Stroud. I'd take over him.
I would take Stroud.
Trevor Lawrence. I would think. I think I would take Lawrence.
I think I would take Trevor. Yeah.
Like I think you put Lawrence on, and maybe that's how we have to rephrase this question. Is like I think if you put Lawrence on the Niners, I think he does better than Purdy. I think he's a better quarterback than Purdy.
I think there are only 5, maybe 4 or 5 quarterbacks that you put on any team. They have a chance to really,
Sure.
So
The Colts.
somebody
Anthony
didn't like
Richardson?
my Deshaun Watson comment, but go ahead. What'd you say?
No, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, I'm not there with Deshaun Watson either. I don't think he's that great. Like I think him and
I
Purdy
think
are
Deshaun
kinda-
Watson's a
that's
way
also-
more talented. He's a way more
He's
talented.
got more
quarterback.
talent, sure,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Right, but if you put, all right, so let's use the argument. You put Deshaun Watson on San Fran. Are they good?
they're good. Yeah, they're probably better with Deshaun. than they
Are
yeah.
you put Purdy on Cleveland? Is Cleveland good?
I don't know
No.
because well, I mean, Flacco's not great. Flacco's 100 years old, and
But he played really, really, really well.
he did play really, really well. But maybe Purdy plays really, really well in that specific
But like
scheme.
I'm not. This is all hypothetical. This is
Sure.
It's
Yep.
So I don't think that if you put, like I said, if you put Purdy on 29 other teams, I don't think you ever hear of him.
Yeah. He might be like a Mac Jones kind of guy.
No, I think he's where I honestly don't think he even gets a chance.
Okay.
He only got a chance in San Francisco because
2 guys went down.
right.
Sure.
You may not even hear of him if Garoppolo plays okay. Like,
All right, he's their backup, or even like he's the last pick of the draft, might get cut. Like,
yeah, right.
the Colts. So who are we going with? Anthony Richardson or?
No, I go Purdy
Yeah.
so far.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't seen
yeah.
enough of Richardson.
Right, I agree. The Titans. So who?
Will
Levis?
Lutz, I get, or
Will Levis?
whatever his name is, Levis, Lutz, whatever, Levis.
Levis.
No, I go
give-
Purdy.
Purdy as well. Dak. Go Dak.
I go Dak. Yeah,
Hurts. I still go Hurts.
Hurts.
The Giants.
Yeah,
Give me Purdy over whoever the fuck they throw out.
I agree.
there. The Commanders.
Purdy.
Agreed.
Even though Hal played pretty well this year, like as well as you could probably imagine him to.
Yep. Stafford. I think I lean Stafford.
Yeah,
I think.
because I think like we've said earlier in the show, Purdy didn't have to play he played like shit against most for 95% of that game against Green Bay, and they still found a way to win. Like I think Stafford is the reason the Rams, win,
Right. Geno
or a
Smith.
big reason.
Geno Smith.
And I go Purdy.
Okay. Kyler Murray.
Purdy.
Really? You're not a big Kyler
Yeah.
Murray guy, huh?
Nah.
I just think the team stinks. I don't think Kyler Murray's good, but I don't know. We've seen Kyler Murray get a fair shot with like a good team.
Right, but that goes into it. Like
Sure, no, totally. Jared Goff.
this is where it gets tough. Like I think Jared Goff might be the best version. Like
He's been great this year, Goff.
I think he's the. I'm not even gonna call him a game manager, but like I think he's the best of the middle of the pack.
Sure.
I think I would go Goff over it because
Yeah, I'll go
San
Goff as
Fran.
well.
I think San Fran rolls with Goff.
Right. Jordan Love.
So far, the last 2 years, listen, Love looked really good halfway through the year.
Yep.
2 full seasons, I think I go Purdy.
Okay.
Honestly,
Kirk.
I go Purdy.
Justin Fields.
Purdy.
The Baker Mayfield.
Purdy.
Derek Carr.
Purdy. These are all like the guys that are between like 13 and 20.
Okay. The Falcons. Ritter. Let's go
Ritter?
Purdy. Yeah, we'll go Purdy.
Whoever
and
they
then-
have.
All right, and then Bryce Young.
Yeah, Purdy.
Okay, so now circle back to the Dolphins with Tua.
I think I'm gonna go as of today. I think I'll go Tua, but I don't know if it's like
Okay, so
that.
based off what we did, if you have Tua there, that would mean that there are 13 quarterbacks better in your eyes.
But that's what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
think he's somewhere between 10 and 15, honestly, Purdy.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's somewhere between 10 and 15, whether that's 10, 11, 12, 13, or 14. Or 10, 11, 12, or 13, 14, 15, whatever.
Yeah, what constitutes good? Like, is it top 10? Is it top 12? Because as soon as you get to like 13, maybe 14, 15, 16, you're just an average quarterback. You're middle of the pack.
Like, I always say, like, Kirk Cousins is, like, the 15th best quarterback in the league.
Sure.
Like,
And it's
I
a
think-
guy that's 15th or 14th in Purdy's case is good enough to win a Super Bowl.
Right.
It's just not. He's not going to win a Super Bowl because of him. I don't
Yeah.
think. But then
Right.
again, I don't think anybody thought the Eagles were going to win a Super Bowl because of Nick Foles. And Nick Foles was fucking Superman. So like, does Purdy have that in him? I guess. But like, Foles wasn't great. Like he was an average NFL quarterback.
no, yeah. He's a
And
career
before
backup quarterback.
Before he got to the Eagles, before that run, like he was going to quit. Like he was done football.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was just lightning in a bottle. I don't.
Sure,
We've
yeah,
never seen
totally.
anything like that 2
No.
games in a row.
Right.
But yeah. I was just
Nice.
curious where you saw Purdy.
Yeah, somewhere in that. I think we had a 13, 14, 15 range probably.
Yeah, like I think he's better than Cousins, but I don't know that he's better than Goff. I think he might be a little bit better than Jordan Love, but like I don't think he's. I think Tua is just a smidge better right now.
Right. But
I think if you put Purdy on like the Eagles team, I think if you put him on maybe like I don't know, guess what? If you switched him and Mahomes, I don't know if Kansas City's that good. Are they?
No, definitely not. No.
Like what
The
about
receiver
Buffalo?
stink. Buffalo, no.
What about Miami?
See that this is the
See,
thing
that's right,
Yeah.
right. That's what I'm sitting here like. Is he
about
better
him
than
and
Tua?
Tua.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's-
right. They're so close.
Miami might be the same
or better.
or better. It's
Like
it's
I don't think they
close.
get worse.
No.
Yeah, Tua and Purdy are a hard one.
Yeah.
I if you have one at 13 and one at 12, I don't, I wouldn't
No,
argue
right.
with you.
Yeah. Yeah. So according to us, our study, he's the 14th best quarterback.
Yeah,
There you go. Do with that what you will.
it's facts. Hashtag facts.
Right, exactly, and we'll do a whole prediction show next week about the Super Bowl. I don't know that I'm gonna watch, to be honest. I have zero interest
Really?
in this. I have zero interest in the Super Bowl.
I
Zero. None.
I'm not saying this is you, but I've been seeing it all over for the past
Yeah,
week ever since Kansas City advanced last week. But like, I don't feel the hate towards Kansas City. I don't.
I don't feel the hate. I'm just so tired of them. I'm just like, go away, stop,
like,
go
but
away.
I lo- but-
and
this
you're
is
not
why
still
we watch
bitter from
sports,
last year.
though.
Yeah, but you're not still bitter from last year. That and then they beat your team last year in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but they beat them like. They beat them like that. That's you know what I mean. Like,
Sure.
it's not their fault that they threw a flag. Like we
Yeah,
should be mad
no,
at
I
the
under-
officiating.
Sure, no, I understand, but like,
Well, I'm not saying you're saying that. I'm just saying like
you
that's what I'm
just
seeing all
watched-
over.
You just watched them celebrate a championship 1 year ago. Like, you really want to watch that again?
I'd rather see Kansas City win than San Francisco,
I
but I
agree.
also
I agree.
like seeing greatness win. I think Travis Kelce's the greatest tight end ever. I think
You
Patrick
think so? You
Mahomes.
put him above.
Yeah.
You put him above Gronk, huh?
I do. I think Gronk is number 2, but we had this argument like a
few
month
weeks
or 2 ago. Yeah. Like I think that Mahomes is the most talented quarterback we've ever seen. I think he's on pace to he could very and I think it's still Brady, but I think Mahomes could very well one day be the best ever.
Sure, that means early.
He's trending that way. He's in 4 Super Bowls in the last 6 years.
And he's won.
And he's got no
three?
and like
How many has he won? 2 or 3 so far?
he's got 2.
He's got 2.
Yeah. So I don't know. I want to watch greatness.
I'm so tired of them.
Yeah, I don't know.
And like and there's and I used to be a big Mahomes guy, but he's gotten so unlikable so quick.
Yeah, but every big player, every big superstar does that. Brady, LeBron. I know you hate LeBron, but still, like
Yeah,
even Jordan.
I don't
Jordan
even hate.
Jordan
I don't
had
even
an
hate
ego.
Brady,
Like
to be honest with you,
right.
like I never really hated Brady. Like obviously, shit was annoying. And
Tiger,
sure, yeah, but I never really hated Tiger either. Like it was, you're just watching greatness at that point.
Right, but they're doing the same thing that Mahomes is doing.
It's the constant
Or
crying.
Mahomes is doing.
It's a constant crying for me. Like,
but they all cry. Is what I'm saying.
No, and that's why I hate most of them.
You just said you don't hate Brady or Tiger.
What?
Do you hate Jordan?
I didn't really watch him. Like, when was Jordan out of the league? 94, 5?
No.
6?
03?
Not even. Was it that late?
He came back. Yeah.
Okay. Prime Jordan, I didn't really watch. Like it was before.
Look at his last like year in the league. He was.
I'll do that
pretty
later.
good. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Okay. I'm also not a big basketball guy, as you know.
Yeah. No,
so like, it's but like, it's just a constant crying. It's why in the first, I'll bring it to hockey. It's why the first 5, 6, 7 years of Crosby's career, I fucking hated him. Like 1, he was a rival, but like 2, it was a constant crying and bitching and moaning. And then he stopped doing that and just started to play and be a tough motherfucker. And I started to respect.
And he didn't win anything.
I started to respect. Sure, he won in like 2000.
But what I'm saying is, yeah, but that's when he was still crying.
No.
Yeah,
I disagree.
I 100%. Okay, all right.
Disagree.
I'm not sitting here trying to convince you to like Mahomes. I'm just telling you why I'd want to see the Chiefs win. Especially
the way that he reacted this season with the Buffalo game.
Okay, that's fair. That's fine.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. Play football.
I'm not here to convince you. I'm just here to tell you why I want to see Kansas City win.
And right, and I would take Kansas City over the Niners, like definitely. But I have zero rooting interest in the game. I don't want to. I maybe I'll turn it on. You know, the Super Bowl day comes, whatever. I have zero interest in watching it. And then they're going to give us Usher for the halftime show. Why do I give a shit about this game at all?
That's a bad one. It's
terrible. It's awful.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think there's something special about, because like that's the thing is like we ask older people about Jordan. Oh, what was it like watching Jordan in his prime? Well, you know.
We have some technical difficulties. Now I'm just by myself. Dom, are you there? Dom. All right. We'll get. You're frozen. I don't know if you could hear me, but you're frozen.
You froze on me.
Really?
I was talking. I heard myself perfectly fine.
Now your audio is all out of whack. Refresh your browser there, and then we'll bring Dom back in. I'm like I said to Dom, I'm just so tired of the Chiefs. I have zero rooting interest in the Super Bowl, none. And we'll try to get Dom in here, but it's just where do we, it's what I don't know. Hold on, let's get Dom. Where's he at? Come on, Dom. All right, Dom, you're back.
I don't know what happened there. I was fine on my end. we were both frozen, but I was able to talk. I don't know.
It was weird.
So I don't know what you heard last, but I just think there's something special about when we ask older generations, like what was it like watching Michael in his prime, Muhammad Ali. Yeah. I think that one day when our kids are old enough to say, what was it like watching Patrick Mahomes during, Tom Brady during his, run, like I think this is something special.
Totally. I agree with that. But
and
I
also
still
another
not want it to happen at the same time.
I understand. also think that you don't feel necessarily that way with Brady as much because Brady didn't just. There was a 10-year period Brady didn't make a Super Bowl.
Yeah, but you look at the total wins and
Right, but so Mahomes is in 4 of the last 6 Super Bowls. Brady,
you're saying I didn't feel that way about Brady. Like in what way? What way did I feel about him?
I'm saying maybe, maybe you don't feel as much hatred towards Brady because he did it so early in his career and then late in his career, where in the middle he lost 2 and then didn't go to 1 for like 10 years.
Yeah.
So maybe that's
and listen,
that's why
Brady
you feel
at
that way.
one point was still hateable with the the Deflategate thing
Sure.
and the cheating scandals and like there's a reason to hate Brady, but like
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I just feel like the Mahomes thing. It's like we're watching like we asked about Jordan, we asked about Babe Ruth, we asked about Muhammad Ali, we asked about Ted Williams, like Willie Mays, and like Wayne Gretzky. Like we ask about these players, and now we finally have one. And I want to see this guy win as much as possible, unless it's against my team.
You're not one of the guys that are like, and because I don't think I am, but like that are annoyed to watch Andy Reid basically build this dynasty.
No, because I don't. Because I think Mahomes plays a big factor in that. Like I think
sure.
if Mahomes isn't in there, like I think they work so well together. All right, let's take it back to like Brady and Belichick. Like I think Brady needed Belichick, but there was and we've obviously seen it where there came a point where Brady didn't need Belichick anymore, and Brady the second half of Brady, even with the Patriots, I think could have won with anybody.
Sure.
I think early on they were just a perfect match, and just like Mahomes and Andy, I think we're a perfect match. Even though if Mahomes went somewhere else, I don't know if Mahomes is still Mahomes. I think he's still a great quarterback, top 5, top 10, whatever. I think going to Andy has made him the guy that he is.
Sure.
But I think if Mahomes is at a point now where no matter who he's with or where he goes, I think he figured it out, and I think he's So no, I just like
it doesn't bother you that in like 14 years or however long Andy Reid was here that like he didn't get it done. He wasn't able to he only got the big game once and lost and came up short, and now he's won multiple with Kansas City.
No, because we won.
Okay.
And like I said, I think Mahomes, if he would have drafted Mahomes in 2000 or 99, whatever it was. Okay, and we never won. Maybe I'd feel that way. I don't know. I just maybe it is because we won a Super Bowl before him. I don't know.
Yeah,
I would love 10, but like,
right.
He's only got 2, so it's not like he's 6 for 6 or whatever.
Sure, yeah. But there's a strong argument he's like the second or third best coach of all time.
He might be number 1.
How many years does he have left? I guess. Like again, Brady won what 7, 6.
Brady's got
not Brady. Belichick. Sorry, is what I meant.
Belichick has
6 because I think Brady has 7. Has one without him, right?
Something like that. What's Brady been to 11?
I think Brady has 7.
But he's been to 11, right? Or
10 or 11. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
So yeah, it was also he might be the greatest ever.
He's definitely top 3. I don't know. I just don't feel that way. I don't know.
Because I have seen that a lot. Because like that, there's still some of that out there.
I think we're so far past it though. At this point, for me.
Yeah, what year did he lead? Like, was it with 2013?
2013 was Chip Kelly's first year. So 2012 was his last.
Yeah. Okay.
And it was just
you're 12 years ago. Like,
yeah. I was in high school. Like,
right. Yeah. It's kind of crazy to think that it's been 12 years that he's been gone. That's kind of nuts.
If you would have asked me after the Eagles, after he was left here and went to Kansas City, those first few years, if you would have told me he would have lasted 12 years, I don't know if I would have.
Right.
I would have agreed with that, or not agreed with it, but I don't know if I would have been like, oh yeah, he's definitely going to last 12 years. But hey,
well, at that point, you don't know that he's going to draft Patrick Mahomes.
That's what I mean.
Like, yeah.
Right.
Because if he drafts, I don't know, name a mediocre
Mac Jones,
starting quarterback. You're right, yeah. Then the next Alex Smith or whatever. Like he might last 3-4 years. Like I don't think he's going to be able to last as long as he did. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we'll have the Super Bowl preview next week. I know last year we did like a whole prop sheet. Maybe we'll do that again.
Oh yeah. We should do that. Yeah. Do that again.
So we'll get to that. Before we move on, I did have the totals. Or did I have the totals? Hold on. I think I have the totals of our against the spread picks. It's not looking good for Chris. I'll be honest. So
I think did I cover both?
last week, yeah, you covered both, and you also got the over in the Lions Niners game, and then
Yeah.
you lost the over in the Chiefs Ravens game. My dumbass actually didn't update it. So going into the conference week, you were 43 and 44. I was 42 and 45, and Chris was 36 and 51. And then this week you went 3 and 1. I went 2 and 2, and Chris also went 2 and 2. So you're 2 games above me at this point
Okay.
for the lead.
So we could theoretically tie if.
Well, we could do anything because like last year we counted the 20 question prop sheet that we had.
Oh, true.
Remember? Yeah. So
Okay.
it's anybody's game at this point. Like me and you could just do terrible, and Chris can make an epic comeback. We'll see what happens. Who won?
True.
Who won last year? Was it me?
I don't
Chris?
remember.
You? I forget. We'll have to go back and listen. All right. So where do you want to take this? What else do you want to talk about tonight?
Do you want to wait till next week to talk about the coaching?
Yeah, if you want. Yeah. We do you want to do that now or next week? I figure
It's up to you.
We'll let Chris talk about it next week. I know Chris
All
is
right.
big.
Yeah.
Chris has some thoughts. So
Yeah.
the one thing that happened last week during the show. So you were, I forget what you were doing, but it's not important. The were you watching? Were you keeping tabs of the Embiid 70 game?
Yes,
So
yes,
that was
I had it
happening
on.
during. Okay, that was
Yep.
happening during the show.
Right.
I mean, epic performance. Like obviously, me and Chris didn't really get to watch it because we were doing this, but like, how dominant was it watching?
So that same night, Karl Anthony Towns put up, I think, 63
Wow, did he really?
or something like that. Yeah. But reading Twitter, basically everybody was saying like it was very much once he hit 50, it was like forced. Where Embiid was the total opposite. He just could not miss.
Yeah.
And at one point they kind of just were like, here, every possession is just his. It was incredible. It was so much fun to watch. He's easily the best player in the league. It's not even. It's really not close in my opinion. But yeah, man, it was a lot of fun. It was like he reached that. I think his career high is 59.
We said it last
So he
week. I don't
reaches that,
remember
like,
exactly. It
57
was in the
58 mark.
50s. Yeah.
I believe it's 59. So he hits that like 57, 58 mark, and it's like, I don't know, maybe like 5 minutes in the third quarter. In the third quarter, he's at like 57,
Right.
58.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like, all right, well, let's see can he hit 60 before the fourth. I think he does hit 60 before the fourth. Comes out in the fourth, and just drops the 70. But like even late in the game, it was like not late in the game, but like that end of that third quarter was like he was dishing the ball. Like it was just anything to win the game. It wasn't so
Yeah.
much I'm going to take until 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They just said here, but like it was like 4:07 left. He had 58 or whatever it was, and dude, he got like 2 assists. Like he was looking for the open guy, anything to win the game. So
Yeah.
it was really fun to watch.
Yeah, there was a stat. I forget exactly the stat. I said it last week, but like there's only been 2 players in the history of the game to have like I think was it 60 or over 70 points, 15 assists and 5 rebounds. It's like him and Michael
right?
Jordan.
Or Michael Jordan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then because he came up and said, or his post game interview, they told him that, and he said, Wilt's never done it, and they were like, no, and he's like, I'm sure he's done it, like they just don't have it listed, in the record books or whatever, like, but
Yeah. So Don from Drunk Abroad writes, the Nerds finally win with the minimum game requirement for the NBA.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this?
I'm
this rule?
very torn.
I am
because
too.
I think I don't. Here's I'm gonna go back a couple minutes to what we were just talking about. One day when our kids ask us, these crazy things, like one day my kid's gonna come up to me and say, "Dad, how the hell did Joel Embiid not win the MVP, averaging possibly 37,
It might be.
averaging 12 or 10 rebounds, whatever it is, having maybe arguably the greatest single season in the history of the league."
I was about to say it might be the greatest season you or me ever see from anybody.
You could argue it's the best that's ever been done.
Yeah. Yep.
Not even just in our lifetime, just ever been done.
Yep.
When it's all said and finished, I understand why they do it.
Well, the athletes did it to themselves because they just all want to sit out. Like,
but
I
here's
get
the
it.
thing. Like,
So
but
what's the
thing.
requirement? 60 or
65?
65.
So, but here's the thing.
That number's
like,
probably too high.
I was gonna say that. I think it should be somewhere between. Like, I think it should be like 60-ish.
Yeah.
I think 60 is probably the mark. But here's the thing though. Like, what other MVP caliber player
Only plays 50 games.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Jokic doesn't. Jokic plays more.
No.
Giannis plays more. Kawhi Leonard is not an MVP guy. He's the one that always sits out.
But he was at one point.
No.
He was, I don't think he's ever won, but like he was that caliber. Where like
Nah.
he could have. No.
Nah, not a single season. No, he was a great player. He's not as good as you think he probably was,
Probably. Yeah.
but he served a role in his team.
Sure.
He's Hall of Famer. Love Kawhi. But he's not a guy that averages like 30 in a season.
Yeah.
He's never done that. So like I bet you he's never done more than 25 like 3 times.
Right.
If I had to guess.
Yeah.
So
and like even when LeBron was like winning all his MVPs, like I think he really I think he did a load management thing, but I don't think
he hasn't won an MVP in like 10 or 12 years.
Sure, but even then, I don't think he was really sitting out.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, is this? And I'm not sitting here saying like, oh, it's the league going against Embiid. I just don't like. I don't know where that makes sense because it's not like MVP. Like I'm saying, like Kawhi's not an MVP player, but he's a guy that does a lot of that load management. Like,
Sure.
Anthony Davis is not like an MVP type player. He's one of those guys that has that load management kind of thing, and he's been better with the Lakers staying on the court. It's a lot easier to stay on the court when you're with a good team rather than when you're in New Orleans, watching your team lose every night. But like, it's those fringe guys, those fringe MVP players, those the guys that are the 10th to the 20th best player that have the load management. I just don't know where. The rest of the MVPs fall in line.
Right, and like you say there is a guy who only plays 50 games, even without the the rule, the requirement. Chances are he's not getting voted the MVP anyway because he only played
Embiid
50 games. Right, exactly.
Like what was it? 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah, it was 2 years ago. Yep.
You could have argued. Well, no, 2 years ago I think he should have won. It was 3 years ago.
Maybe it was
I
three,
think
okay,
Jokic. It was fine that Jokic. It was fine that Jokic won, but the only reason he won was because Embiid only played like 51 games or whatever, where 60 games.
Yeah, that goes against you anyway. So like, there's almost like an unwritten game requirement.
Right.
So
right. So I see the point of it. I just don't. I wish it was more like 60.
Yeah. I get what they were trying to do, and with somebody who hates the whole load management, like. Thing in basketball or even sports in general now. I understand what they were trying to do. I just don't think it was necessary.
I agree. I also think Embiid doesn't give a shit about the MVP this year. I think genuinely.
I hope he doesn't. I really hope he got his MVP.
And
that's all he cared. He cared about that last year. I genuinely think he wants to.
I don't know that's all that he cared about, but it was a big thing. It was a big thing.
Sure,
but
totally.
I've been saying this for a few weeks. I think that okay. He's a father now. He's married now. He is under a coach that's not a player's coach. He's under a coach that is sitting here telling him, "I don't care about your MVP. I don't care about you sit out on a Tuesday night or Sunday night in January when we're a top 3 seed." I think Nick Nurse is a huge reason on why Joel is saying, "I don't care about this MVP. If I get it, great. If I don't." The playoffs is what matters. And I think he's 29, almost 30 years old now. He's at a point in his career where I have to win in the playoffs. I have to win in the playoffs. I have to be the guy in the playoffs. And if it means that I have to sit out on a Sunday night in January and maybe not get the MVP, what's worth more?
Yep. And now he's getting investigated. He's getting investigated for the other night too.
But that's not his fault.
No, it's not his fault. No,
I think it's more the Sixers' fault than anything.
Sure,
more than his fault. But like, I don't know.
I thought it was funny.
No, for sure.
But isn't it funny that like early in his career, like the first year or two, maybe even the third year, we're talking about who knows how much time he has left. He's got 3 to 5 years, and 8 years later, however long it's been, he's better. He's mountains better than he was then. It's crazy.
Yeah, basketball's a game that you don't dominate until you're 28, 29. It's just that's just the way it is. It's a lot like starting pitchers in baseball. You have the few guys that Kershaws and Verlanders that were great from the beginning, but it's those Zach Wheelers that come out when they're, the Max Scherzers that come out when they're 28, 29 years old and pitch till they're 40. It's the same thing with NBA players. There's only a handful of guys in the modern era, Magic, Giannis, and like one other guy that has won a championship before they're 28. LeBron didn't win until he was 28. Michael didn't win until he was closer to 28. Like that's just kind of the you
have to learn how to
switch.
be a winner.
Yeah, you have to learn how to play. You have to learn how to, because the playoffs are it's like hockey or baseball or football. It's just different in the playoffs. You have to adapt to that, and you have to be able to build a team around you. And
I just hope we're not getting sold to like a false bill or whatever. Like I hope come playoffs he's determined to win, and we don't see when things get tough, we don't see him quit because we've seen it in the past. Like
I think Nick Nurse is a big big proponent to that.
I agree.
So that was the one thing I wanted the Sixers to do that this past offseason, and they did it. So I still think they're one piece away, but could they win with what they have? Maybe, but I would be a lot more comfortable with one more piece.
Do you have anybody in mind?
I mean, I have guys that I would love, but realistically, I think they need either a 3 that's a small forward that's a 3-and-D guy, or I think they need, and I'm going to sound crazy, but I think they could go out also the route of a point guard. I think they can go out and get Tyrese off the ball, let him be a catch and shoot guy, because I think he could still average the 26 that he's averaging, not handling the ball. I think if you go out and you get a good ball handler, and you let Tyrese play his game, catch and shoot, I think he'll still be effective. So I'll go one of those 2 routes. I think I actually wouldn't mind the Spencer Dinwiddie trade. I know a lot of people are not into that. I think his numbers go up if he comes here. Who's another guy? I mean, DeRozan's like a 2 or 3, but he's not really like a 3-point shooter. I really want a 3-point shooter. He's a good defender.
You're not into like a Zach LaVine. I know you haven't really been
I would
a fan
take
of. Yeah.
With the right price, like I would absolutely take him. I don't know that he's not great defensively.
Right.
I want to Anunoby would have been the perfect guy. He could shoot. He'll lock down Tatum. He'll lock down, those number 3 guys on the other team. The small forward. Like Anunoby would have been perfect, but you'd have to pay him a lot of money this offseason. So like if you get a Dinwiddie, like you're gonna have to pay him after this year, but he's not gonna be a max player. Like I don't know, what are you gonna give him, like $15 million a year?
Right.
$20 million a year, which is fine. I think, and then, as much as I would love it, I don't think it happens. I would in the off season, I would love Paul George, but I don't know that happens. But yeah, we'll see.
We shall see. All right, we can move on. So the one thing I did want to talk about today is something that came out last week, and that's his Carter Hart stuff. I mean, takes a leave of absence. We just can't have nice things, can we? So how familiar are you with the story?
The story of the allegations, or the story of in what
all
part?
of it, all of it. But I guess
So
what was your first thought when he took leave of absence?
I mean, that's obvious.
Right.
I thought it was obvious. Yeah.
Okay,
Not, and it doesn't mean he did anything. It doesn't mean he didn't do anything.
Sure.
I just think that this stuff has to play out in court.
It's
going
to take a while. Yeah.
It's going to take a long time. All I know is that they were at an event in Canada, a golf event. This girl starts talking to one of the players. They're drinking. He invites her upstairs to his room.
To the hotel room. Yep.
Right. And she goes thinking it's just going to be them two. They go into the hotel room, and I don't know how many, I guess other players come in.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't even know the exact story. I could find it somewhere.
I'm pretty sure that's a couple players come in, they start doing whatever, the allegations are that they start participating under I guess under not under her wishes. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah.
And then there was an agent that came out that said his client didn't name his client, but walked in the room, realized what was going on, stood there for about 10 minutes, and then walked out.
Right.
And whether that's Carter Hart or not, I mean, that's still, you still have to understand what's going on. You have to help.
It's such like a tough situation because
Right, because you don't know the situation going on.
Right, if you just walk in and it just looks like it's, I don't know how it looked. Right, if it didn't look bad, if I don't know, it's without getting too graphic. Like if if it looks consensual, like maybe he doesn't think anything of it, and he's like, I don't want to partake, but. Apparently, he was like eating a piece of pizza or something. I think it's like he walked in with a piece of pizza, hung around for a couple minutes, then left. Like it's
and then so I guess the woman filed, and then it got something happened in that was, what was that, 2019 or 2018?
So the incident happened in 2018,
and then it I guess they kind of it went away in 2019, and then it came back in 2022.
Yeah, I think they paid her a settlement at first.
Yeah.
In 2019, but then I think London Ontario Police, I think press charges or something. I forget exactly how it worked, but they launched an investigation, and their department, like the London Police, has handled this in absolutely atrociously, and in an awful manner. They've taken extremely long time. There's been and listen, it's a big media story, especially up there in Canada. They've done nothing to like inform people of what's going on. No updates.
Right, but they don't have to.
They don't have. No, they don't have to. They don't have
especially
to.
if it's an investigation, and also
it is.
sexual assault and stuff like that. Unless it happens right away, like unless you go and look in that room right away. Like
sure, when you're investigating something that happened 5 years ago, it's tough. I get it.
It's very, very hard, especially with sexual allegations.
It is, but then allegation or things leak and information gets out there and they still are silent, and like we were supposed to get this information. Apparently, it was leaked like in the summer, but they just kept pushing it back, and then the report comes out that 5 players have been last week. 5 players were told to surrender to London police. So then 5 players, including one of obviously Carter Hart, takes leave of absences, so we could all assume they're the 5. And then instead of kind of coming out and having a press conference, the next day or the day after that, London Police scheduled a press conference for February 5th. They have the information in front of them. They scheduled a press conference for 2 weeks later. Like what? I don't understand what they're doing. I have no clue.
The only thing I could think of is they're still investigating. They're trying to get their, I guess from those 5 players, they're trying to get as much information from them before they tell you what's going on. Maybe that's a good thing. Like maybe this country sucks, and like the country that we live in just automatically pushes like anything that happens. You're the bad guy, or you're the bad guy, or you're the bad guy. Maybe they're doing their due diligence and actually looking at every single. Maybe this is a good thing. And that's the thing, like it's happening now, like, and that's whether the answer comes out, whether it's positive or negative for whoever in the situation. At least we're going to get an answer soon. I think that's very important too.
Well, I don't know about an answer, like because even when they're charged, like you might know the players that are charged and what the charges are, but even when they're charged, there's still like a whole trial.
Well, yeah, no. What I mean is, we're getting an answer in the sense of like we're starting the process of getting the answer. Like,
sure.
Like we're not going to get an answer in 2 weeks. We might not get an answer for 2 years. But at least this process is starting. Like that's we've been waiting for how long?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
2 years.
It's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while.
So
every time we thought we were close, they just kept pushing it back, and
yeah,
it's been radio silence, but. Yeah, February 5th.
And I genuinely hope whoever is wrong in the situation gets proven wrong, and or not proven wrong, but gets proven
justice is served.
Yeah, right. No matter what what however that justice is served, I hope it the right thing happens.
Yep. So, what does this mean for the Flyers? Is that fair to is that a fair transition to make?
I mean, yeah. I mean, this plays a part. I mean, they play a role in this.
Exactly. So obviously, I mean, I think we kind of expect Carter to kind of miss the season, right? Like the rest of the season.
I would think so.
think he's gone. I would think he's gone because, like,
Yeah.
depending on his involvement, and it sounds pretty serious if he's having to surrender to London police, but like he's gonna have to go through trial, and until there's a final verdict, I don't think he's playing in the NHL.
That's probably fair.
Yeah.
So,
And even if he is found not guilty, like right or wrong, just being involved in a sexual assault allegation is enough to kind of tarnish your career. And
Sure.
and like I mean, Trevor Bauer, they proved in the MLB, they proved Trevor Bauer basically, got set up, and he still isn't back in the league. Like just his name being around it, destroyed his career.
I thought more people came out though recently. Like that's why.
I haven't seen any of that. I just know the one incident was proven that she legit set him up.
Yeah, for some reason I thought it was like more allegations came out with.
And there might be
different people.
allegations, but I don't think he's being charged for anything, right? I could be
Right,
wrong,
because I
but-
think they're still investigating.
Okay, I'd have to look
stuff
into
with
that.
I believe.
Okay.
I could be wrong about that, but I just think they're like two very different
Sure,
situations.
yeah. But it's
But
it's and the Flyers have lost 5 straight. I think 2 or 3 of them came after this
Right.
news. Urson, who was playing really really well as the backup or 1B or whatever you want to call him, has really struggled now that he's the number 1 guy. The pressure of just getting that number 1 role can kind of it's a lot easier to play knowing Carter Hart's there.
Yeah,
And now you got to take the realm.
the Flyers not being able to have a number 1 goalie, like
Yeah,
I mean,
right,
what,
exactly, yeah.
what would you think?
Yeah, we thought we had a franchise guy. Now we
yeah.
got to find one again.
Yeah. What's Briz doing? Ilya
well-
Bryzgalov, what's he up to?
He's 50 years old, probably.
He's not probably not that old.
Nah,
But he's
probably-
old.
He's probably
like
he's in his
45.
40s. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's in his 40s.
Yeah.
But it is funny. Like you look at and I used to turn funny. Like it's not really funny, but like you think of the cursed Flyers, right? You think about all the things that happened in the handful of years, right? Nolan Patrick, you pick him. He's supposed to fall in his lap, supposed to be his next big thing. Doesn't amount to anything. Gets hurt. His career's done. Oscar Lindblom, who's like a 30-goal pace guy, gets cancer. The next franchise goalie
Gets cancer.
I mean, it's the facts. Like, and then the next, the franchise goalie,
Mike Richards and Jeff Carter, the face of the franchise, get traded because they love cocaine and hookers.
right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Chris Pronger gets hit in the eye, and boom, the playoff.
Dude, Lindros,
thing's
like
over.
I mean, like,
Oh,
you
right,
can go back as far as
Lindros.
Lindros. Like
and then now
he
they're
had a sweet goal this weekend.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yep, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Recky. I mean, Recky looked good too.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then now they're supposed to franchise goalies, getting arrested for sexual assault. Like
Yep.
it's just a whole list of just things that add up to the Flyers being cursed.
When it rains, it pours.
Yep, they're cursed.
What's that Kanye song? When it all falls down.
Sing more, Dom. Let's make it a Kanye karaoke. Now. Although he's problematic, I don't know that we could do that.
Yeah. We just keep talking about problematic people.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know, old Kanye hits though. I'll be honest.
I saw a quote today from him. I guess like TMZ went up to him and were like, "Does your wife have free will?" And he turned around and he said, "Do you work for God or do you work for the devil?" I went up to my wife today. I was like, "Do you work for God or do you work for the devil?" She was like, "What?" I was like, "It's a Kanye quote." She's like, "Stop."
Well, yeah, I don't think either of them pay my salary. So
Right.
guess the signed 79 jersey goes back to the line. Yeah, I'd keep it back there until at least the trial gets settled.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
figure
yeah,
things
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
I do. I have a Carter Hart jersey.
Okay.
So, I don't know that I can wear that anytime soon. Which is unfortunate.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean we'll see what happens with that. But
Yep.
and like the thing that's really sucks about it is like everything we thought we knew about Carter Hart, like he was the last person I expected to be involved in this. Like he seemed like
Yeah.
such a nice, quiet guy. Like it's just when I saw it, I was surprised. Like because obviously you see the roster of that 2018 team, and you're kind of looking through names, and you see Carter Hart, and you're like, I don't really expect it from him.
Yeah.
But I guess you don't really know. Like in front of the camera, I guess you're different
Right.
behind it. I
Behind
guess.
closed doors. Yeah.
All right. So, could you imagine if because Cale Makar was on that team? Could you imagine if this came out and Cale Makar
Yeah.
was one of the names?
I was looking at that roster.
Yeah.
Like how many guys I
names.
knew and don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
it not as good as I thought,
Yeah.
but there were some, you know.
Kel McCarr is the big one.
Yeah.
So I think Colorado fans have kind of been a little nervous,
Sure.
you know, because like imagine he's one of the 5. Like,
And dude, even if you're a coach, if you're a trainer, like it's
Sure.
you know it trickles down. Like, of course, you know. I mean, obviously, fans don't care about a trainer, but like that person and his family are probably like on their toes too, and they probably had nothing to do with it. But still, it's like
Right,
they're around. You know,
right? Yeah,
they're
they're
involved to a certain degree.
they're responsible, but they're not.
Right.
In a kind of weird sense. It's like I guess if you're a trainer or a coach, you're thinking be like, what can I have done to kind of prevent it? I guess.
Yeah. Right.
But we'll see what happens.
Yup.
You got anything else?
I don't think so.
All right.
Not
keeping
much
this-
going on.
No, there really isn't.
Hopefully,
Keeping nice and
hopefully,
short tonight.
what pitchers and catchers are soon, right?
Within the next
Not-
10 days, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think it's next week. I think it's a week after.
Yeah, I think it's around 10
so
or 11 days.
we'll start having that discussion soon.
Why haven't they done anything? What's the deal with the Phillies?
Let's wait another week. Maybe
Oh, so
maybe we'll preview that a little bit.
Me and Chris talked about it last week a little
Yeah,
bit, but
yeah.
I don't know that.
To be fair,
running backs-
not many teams have done much either.
Yeah, yep.
So, but I think these next 2-3 weeks it's going to be you're going to see a lot of guys starting to.
Yeah,
go
I mean, I was
places.
talking to Chris last week about it, and the stat that I ran off is like last year around this time, there were 3 of the top 50 free agents still available. As of last week, there was like 20 something of
Yeah.
the top 50 still available. Like nobody signed.
Right.
It's crazy. Are
All
they
right.
fully signing anyone? Almost now.
I don't know. I genuinely I have not been
We'll
like
see what happens.
yeah I was gonna say I've been so like pissed off about the Eagles and like so into the Sixers and Flyers that like I don't even want to think about the Phillies. I'm still hurt from October. So
Yeah.
like I don't even want to think about that right now.
Yeah, it's we'll talk about
maybe
it
in another
next-
week.
I was like,
Yeah.
we'll talk about it next week or the week after.
Yeah,
The
no,
only
for
thing
sure.
the only thing I'll say is kind of to close it out is you look at what the Dodgers did, right? The Braves didn't really do a whole lot, but they were still 15 games better than you last year. I don't know that running it back with the exact same team is smart.
Well, I don't know that that's what they're doing just yet. If
Sure, it's early.
everybody was signing, I think we could say that. But like, there's still really big names like Cody Bellinger. You know,
I need give me pitching. There's really not great pitchers left. Like the pitchers are gone, especially the top 3 or 4 relievers. Like they're gone.
lists. If you look at a lot of lists, the Phillies are top 3 rotation in the league.
I mean, that's expecting a bounce back from Nola. That's expecting Wheeler's arm not to fall off because he's getting older.
Right, but
That's
you can't expect
that's
that not to
expecting
happen, though.
That's sure, but that's expecting Christopher Sanchez to actually be legit. That's expecting
tell you-
Taiwan Walker to be solid. Like
let's
there's a lot of
let's
question
save
marks
this.
in the
Let's
rotation.
save this for next week.
Okay, fair
But I will agree about the bullpen. I
That's
think
my
that's
big
the
thing.
questionable part. I agree because the bullpen guys are going, but that doesn't mean they won't pull off a trade tomorrow or whatever.
Sure.
Like we didn't like Soto was a really good was one of the top relief pitchers in the AL 2 years ago, and out of nowhere they traded Vierling and Maton for Gregory Soto. Like you know what I mean? Like something will happen. They'll add. It's baseball's tough. It's really really hard to sign these guys because there's no
Sure.
cap and you know. But we'll definitely talk about it. I
we will
can't
talk
wait to
about
talk
it.
about Phillies.
Absolutely. So, all right, we're going to get out of here. Like us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And also, one of our shows, Beer Batter Sports, has their 100th episode tomorrow night.
Congrats to
7
them.
p.m. Yep. So go check that out on their Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube page. We are going to get out of here. We'll see everybody next week. See ya.